Welcome, everybody, to Just Between Us. I am delighted to welcome my friend and colleague, Will Saletan. Hi, Will.
Hi, Mona. How are you doing?
I'm okay. How about you? It's been a while. It's good to see you. I have to say, this whole story about Trump's decision to bomb Iran leaves me with drastic mixed feelings. Really drastic mixed feelings, because I do think that he stumbled into doing the right thing. But you have a long piece today about, it really was almost an accident. Well, let's talk. Because I have a theory about why he decided to do this. I don't think he was planning this forever. Of course, now all of his acolytes are going to say, oh, yes, this was a, wonderful, brilliant scheme that he has been working on for months, and this was all planned. And I don't believe that. I don't think you believe that. But I do have a theory about why. I think maybe you touched on it in your piece, but tell me why you think he went for it.
Well, I'm now, after 18 hours, Mona, I'm completely bored with myself. So can we start with your theory? Let's hear your theory.
Okay. So I think that it's just basically, everything with Trump comes down to ego. And he was watching Fox and saw all this coverage of how brilliant the Israeli attacks on Iran had been. They took out their air defenses, and they had basically, and they were attacking all of these key nuclear sites and taking out nuclear scientists. And it was, and honestly, the Israelis obviously had a lot of penetration into even the security services in Iran, and a lot of help from Iranians on the ground. They had drones inside Iran that were being fired from inside Iran. It was incredibly impressive. And Trump is watching all this. And whereas in the first hours of the war after Israel attacked Iran, I think it was on the 13th, I was traveling, so might get my dates slightly off. Rubio comes out and says, we had nothing to do with this. And then as Trump starts seeing that it's been very successful and Iran looks weak, then Trump is like, well, I got to get the head of this parade. I got to get the credit. I have to get the credit. And so he starts saying in his truths, he starts saying, we have total dominance of the air. We have, really? We? And I think that's it. I think he just wanted to get out at the head of a parade that was already moving. And I also, for what it's worth, I don't know, but I think Netanyahu did a clever psyop on Trump, where he put it out that Israel was going to be able to take care of Fordo by itself, didn't need the United States, as a little spur. If you're going to act, you better do it fast, because you might lose the opportunity. I don't know. What do you think?
Mona, I think that your theory is 100% correct. Not only do I think that, there is significant reporting to back it up, that this is in fact what happened. That Trump was, up until the last minute, literally the day before Israel launched its attack, Trump was saying, I don't know, I don't really want Israel to do anything crazy here because we're still negotiating with Iran. So his position publicly was, don't do it. And we're negotiating and we're going to get a deal, which, remember, people have to remember, we have a deal. We're about to have a deal. Everything's going great. Is Trump's MO when he's having trade discussions and the other country isn't giving him an inch, he comes out in public and lies and tells Americans, hey, we almost have a deal. Everything's going great. When he wants a ceasefire in Ukraine and nothing is happening and Putin isn't giving an inch, Trump comes out and says, hey, we're making tremendous progress.
Yeah.
So this is his shtick.
Yeah.
It's exactly what he did with the Iran nuclear talks. Again, falsely, because it was not going well, up until the moment Israel attacked. And the backstage reporting I read the New York Times account. There was also a Wall Street Journal account. Is that once Trump saw that it was working, Israel, is really well, as you said, really well integrated into Iran with spies. They got, their drones in and all that. They had fantastic intelligence on, once again, as they did with Hamas and Hezbollah. Well, I guess everything except October
Except
7th,
Hamas.
which was a royal catastrophe.
Except Hamas. No, they
Right.
they did a horrible job there.
But they did have tremendous intelligence on Hezbollah, and they had it in Iran again. And so here's now a tremendous success. And Trump watches this. Now, we've all heard the taco theory, right? The taco, for those of you who haven't heard it, Trump always chickens out. That was the theory.
This is a term, an acronym that originated on Wall Street among traders who were worried, watching, their portfolios going like ping pong balls up and down with every bleat out of Trump. And so, but they were watching and realized that actually, though he's constantly threatening and blustering, they say, at least on tariffs and other issues too, Trump always chickens out, TACO. So that became a thing, and Trump was highly aware of it. And it's interesting that he chose this arena for disproving taco, not the tariff arena, right? I mean, it is, I don't know, it's interesting.
But let me suggest that what happened here is not a falsification of taco. It is the alternate version of taco. So taco stood, in the case of the Wall Street guys, for Trump always chickens out. But there's another maxim about Trump, which is that as in the case of the Israeli strike, when something good is happening,
he has
Trump
to get
will
the credit.
Turn on a dime to get in the middle of it, make himself so my version of taco to explain this strike was, when there's a bandwagon, Trump always climbs on.
Yeah.
And so that's what he did here. He, as you just described, Mona, in the series of truths, he then said, "Oh, it's we're the ones doing it," and he sends in the bunker busters, and then he claimed, and now the spin from the administration is no other president did this, no other president would have done this, and it might be true that in some cases they wouldn't have done it. Antony Blinken, the former Secretary of State, just published an op-ed where he said, "I wouldn't have done it, we wouldn't have done it." But the reason Trump was able to do this was that Netanyahu and Israel took out the entire Iranian anti-aircraft system. Like they as Trump said, we control the skies. Why? Because the Israelis took it out. That made it easy. That made it super easy for Trump, with no risk, to send in the B-2s. As he said, they sent him in. They weren't even fired on. They weren't, and so the Israelis created this window of opportunity, and I will give Trump credit. He took it.
Yeah.
And now, Mona, can we talk a little bit about the underlying strike and whether we agree with it? Because it sounds like you do. Bill Kristol does, and
Yeah.
I think I do too.